Alright, guys. Here we are. It's fucking Trash Boy hours.
Trash Boys.
We're chilling on a Thursday night.
Thursday night, coffee in hand. Feeling relaxed. Feeling chillaxed.
What are we starting with today?
Well, we're gonna listen to a track by that's been doing numbers by an artist known as Tracy, but that's always subject to change because from what I know, the dude has he's always changing his mind on what he wants to be referred to as. Like he used to be young bruh.
Yeah.
Like when he first started out, I think, and I guess young bruh died. and in one of the Lil Peeps videos, you can actually see I guess a sticker on the wall and it says like R.I.P. Young Bruh.
Huh.
It's a reference to that.
No kidding.
But yeah, so then he was going by Lil Tracy for a while, and I don't know. The other day he put up something else, but he's always just coming out with these new monikers, I guess, or these new I guess they're characters of his. I don't know. But he's an interesting guy. I guess his parents are musicians as well, if people care to know the history. But freaking Ishmael Butler from Shabazz Palaces.
Yeah, Shabazz
if
Palaces
anybody even knows who they are, but they are dope. Yeah.
And is that the guy who raps?
Yeah.
So
the
he's
vocalist.
also in a group called Diggable Planets as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're good. It's like conscious rap, but it's like alternative.
Some J. Cole type stuff.
Yeah, some J. Cole type shit.
So yeah, he's got that going on, but yeah, he's mostly known for just making songs with Lil Peep, and yeah, so he came out with this new song recently, and it's been doing numbers. A lot of people, are huge fans of it. I'm a fan of it actually, but yeah, we're gonna put that on right now.
Slap it.
I got horses in my car like a farmer. Yeehaw, finna pick up your daughter. He want beef, I'ma had to get him slaughtered. He want beef, I'ma had to get him slaughtered. I got horses in my car like a farmer. Yeehaw, finna pick up your daughter. He want beef, I'ma had to get him slaughtered. He want beef, I'ma had to get him slaughtered. Yeah. Don't come around here. Won't like your kind. I've been fucking these sluts, but I love my wife. Got a big old truck, so we all gon' ride. I'm sipping lean like a Coors Light. Boy, this town ain't big enough for the both of us. I got a shotgun and it's loaded up. I heard that whore say you handsome. Put that heat to your face, I'ma brand ya. Hell yeah, yeehaw. I swear these people need God. I got some horses in this truck, keep up. I got some horses in this truck, keep up. I got horses in my car like a farmer. Yeehaw, finna pick up your daughter. He want beef, I'ma had to get him slaughtered. He want beef, I'ma had to get him slaughtered. I got horses in my car like a farmer. Yeehaw, finna pick up your daughter. He want beef, I'ma had to get him slaughtered. He want beef, I'ma had to get him slaughtered. Get him slaughtered.
Hell yeah, dude.
Damn, that shit slaps.
Yeah, it goes crazy, man.
He's merging the best of both worlds. In the music world, man, you got some. You got the country, you got the hip hop.
Dude, when I listen to the country station, it's getting there.
Oh yeah,
it's crazy.
You can see it, man.
That's the next wave, man. That's been the wave.
Does this guy produce his own stuff?
I mean, he works. He works close with his producers, But no, he just works with a range of super underground producers, people that are just coming up to, and I don't know. He switches it up though.
Nice.
As far as I know.
Is he a member of Goth Boy Clique? Is that the same group he's in, or did they like?
Yeah. As far as I know, he's still associated with them.
Yeah.
But I don't even know. He just does stuff on his own. He's like kind of a wild card. He's not really like that's who he raps. But then he'll do some stuff on his own, and he's just, I don't know. He's something else, man. Like he's like, I can't tell how much of it is just like his cocaine use or like excess of other narcotics. It's
yeah.
But or how much of it is just his weird personality. But he hops around.
He's really stupid on Twitter. Like he's like an absolute dumbass.
Yeah.
He doesn't project as him being like very intelligent.
Right.
And I mean, in some cases, it doesn't have to be the case. Like in rap music, you don't have to be smart as hell. Like, but I think he's smarter than he puts on.
Seems like it. It does seem like it.
I don't want to be sounding off like J. Cole, like talking a little pump here, like brown nosing, like. But I feel like to create something that's clever like that, and I mean, it's not like super complicated or lyrical by any stretch of the imagination, but it's funny.
But it's also like he's not taking himself too seriously.
No way.
I mean, you can tell he's just having fun and just fucking around. But it's a fun song, and I think they, some memes been going around where you see like some cowboy at a rodeo, and he's hoeing down.
Is there a video with this?
No, not yet that I know of. I'm sure it's coming.
Yeah. How recent was this song released?
This month.
Okay, that's pretty new.
Yeah, and they've been passing it around.
Yeah, it's got like 500,000 views right now on YouTube alone. It's a really good summer song, it's kind of funny. It's as a single, it's funny, dude. It's good. But it is weird. It's like it's one of those two things that it's a combination of two genres that you never think would meet. Right? It's like you think like the farthest thing from hip hop is country. Like if you were to create like a Venn diagram of like genres, like country and rap would never touch. You would think, at least.
Yeah.
Like the cultures alone are very fucking different.
Yeah. It was that whole fucking, what was it, Nelly and what's his face crossover.
Yeah. It wasn't it the Miley Cyrus dad?
No, it wasn't that guy.
I know he did something with someone else though.
Country guy.
I think I know what you're talking about.
Let's just leave it at that. But
yeah, he was a big country guy.
That opened a door for just. It's easy. It you would think it's further apart, but it's really.
Well, I mean, like on the surface, just like the choruses, like the melodic choruses and stuff like that. Like I'll be listening to a hip hop song nowadays, and I could hear the chorus. It's like you can take that and just put it on any country song now.
Not just that though. Like the formula for country and rap is very similar. You have your themes. They just want to rap about having a good ass fucking time, dude. Yeah. Having your lady, you know what I mean? Sipping on some fucking, you know what I mean? They've got a drawl to their delivery.
Yeah, that's true.
It matches up more than you would actually like think about.
And also a lot of the inspiration that's being drawn from in traditional rap music today, or not traditional rap music, like popular rap music, is from the South. Like all the guys that are listening to 3 6 Mafia or Outkast or whatever, right? Like those guys are from the South, and they.
Dude, yeah, Atlanta.
Yeah,
it's especially the way that they talk. Any music that comes from that area is gonna have that southern flavor kind of.
Right, like Ludacris and shit. Like those. I mean, that's what's hot now. It's not surprising that. People drew from different inspiration to create something like this. But it is very funny. Like I think the main draw of it for me is how funny it was. Like hearing it the first time, and I was like, what the hell is this? I didn't know it was Tracy the first time I heard it. I was like, what the hell? Because I knew about him and like some of his music. Like I knew people that liked it and like thought it was funny or like interesting or it's kind of like more that like pop art trap sort of thing that was going on, and it never really caught my attention. I actually like got into a Twitter fight with him. Like he would like
Tracy.
Yeah, it was over some stupid shit.
What was it, man? I gotta hear this.
It was Lil Peep and him did that song. Was it White Wine?
Okay.
Is that the name of it?
Yeah.
There was a Fader article. No, not a Fader. It was a Pitchfork article that came out about that song, and I knew the guy who wrote it. Yeah. And I just saw it tweeted, and I saw him in the comments and the replies like sounding off because apparently the guy didn't even mention him. And he's extremely salty about it.
No, he is. I mean, you can tell like in this No Jump, he's this is before people even died, but he was talking a lot about like they weren't on good terms because Peep, like the industry was taking Peep.
They chose him.
Yeah, they chose him, even though he feels that he felt entitled to like Peep's whole image and
it was jealousy
and all that stuff.
It was vindictiveness and it seemed really childish and I sounded off. I was like, dude, like just stay down and keep working on your craft and you'll get recognized. Like that's pretty much what I said. And he pretty much just started like swearing at me. And
did he block you?
No, he didn't block me. I ended up deleting the tweets because I got spammed by like all his fanboys and shit. Yeah, like they were like
I didn't know that people actually took him, you know, because it's hard. He's one of those artists that's so hard to read because he'll play into the meme, and then he'll like also take himself seriously sometimes.
Yeah.
But I mean, I don't know. Like I said, I don't know how much of it is just his character, like his personality, or like the drugs, because he's always talking about being on all these influences, and I'm just like, all right, dude, like that's your lifestyle, whatever. But one of your good friends just died, and yeah, they'll talk about like changing, but then they don't. But it's at the end of the day, that's their own personal choice.
Yeah, and I mean, in that song in particular, like the drawing factor of that song was not the one verse that Lil Tracy rapped, and it was at the end, and it was short. It was like a 30-second verse.
Right.
In terms of like the whole song, where Pete was singing the hook, and he had much better verses and shit, and he was more captivating as an artist, and he had a much more interesting image than the guy with Cheeto dreads and shit.
Yeah.
Like, and mismatching colors, like that was his aesthetic. It's like you are like a member of a crowd of people that are doing the exact same fucking thing that you're trying to do. And I mean, it's he was like also saying some stupid shit on the day that Lil Peep died. He was like
he was
saying some dumb shit, and
he's like, Lil Peep died, LOL.
Yeah,
like
dumb.
But then he like took it back. He's like, he is all trying to play it off like it was he was just joking,
or he didn't know,
Yeah, nothing was confirmed. But it's like, still, man, like
that's your reaction is to pull up Twitter.
Yeah.
Like you hear your friend died, and all right, let me sound off on Twitter and say like, LOL,
right,
haha, XD, my friend just died. Yeah. Like it's so callous and stupid. Yeah. But that doesn't detract from like the hilarity of this song. And it's like, some people they get the formula right, like they're able to
they'll find something
out of their ass.
Just out of nowhere, because he did nothing to really to give anyone the idea that this was coming, like to prepare anyone. It was just like, I mean, he's done some silly stuff, but yeah, I think it's a pretty cool it's a nice merging, like we're talking about, of two genres that you normally wouldn't think. But I mean, like you said, that it's been done before. It's just that I think they've been
never
really
hit.
Yeah.
It was more of a joke than it was.
Yeah.
Very
novel.
It always feels so contrived because it's the industry that's taking these two artists. Oh, Nelly is a big name in rap.
At the time,
whatever this other artist was.
Who was country guy?
It wasn't Billy Ray Cyrus.
No, but I know he did a song with.
Yeah, I know he did a song too. He did a remix of "Achy Breaky Heart."
Yeah.
That was like techno.
And it was
hip-hop.
just like, what is going on?
And it
man?
hurt the ears to listen to.
It was so
Tim
bad.
McGraw. That's who it was. It was Tim McGraw.
Okay. So this has been done. Yeah, Jason
it's
Aldean,
definitely been
Ludacris,
touched on.
Nelly, and Tim McGraw. Yeah.
Now they're gonna you know, they're probably gonna sign little Tracy now. That's what I'm calling it. They're gonna give him attention.
Oh, he's
now,
still not signed.
and then they're gonna like offer him a contract to like make a full album based on nothing but country trap.
I wouldn't
bangers.
listen to it, to be honest. Like I feel like this is funny because it's kind of like it came out of the woodwork, just kind of spontaneously. Like if the industry gets its hooks into it and tries to commercialize it. And also, I like it because it's a rapper parodying country. I don't like it because it's country rap.
Well, yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
Like, I like country. Like, there's country that I love, but there's rap that I love. I don't think that it's necessarily a good thing to put those two things together. Like, some fusions don't fucking work, straight up. And if they tried to commercialize it and make a whole thing about it, come on, man.
Yeah.
Come on.
This one was Bug 22. It says Achy Breaky 2
Oh my God.
featuring Billy Ray Cyrus.
Oh.
But it was so awful. Like, it did not catch on the way that I think they expected. Like, I heard nobody was talking about it when it came out. But it's just like you go back and you listen to it and watch the music video, and it's just like, what were they thinking? It is just
they were thinking
weird.
something.
Yeah, I mean, it's like
dollar signs.
yeah, no, exactly. But it's just like more money went into the production of the video that like everyone just like laughs at in the comments. It's just like, what is this? What is going on?
Yeah. Do you want to slap it?
I mean, might as well. I feel like I'm talking too much.
Give us an intro on this particular video. What is it? Buck 22, Achy Breaky 2 featuring Billy Ray Cyrus on YouTube. All right, let's check it out.
Ladies and gentlemen, I'm Larry King, and I apologize for bringing you this startling information this evening, but there is some late breaking news that I thought I should make you aware of.
That's really
And
Larry
verify
King.
that there has been an unidentified flying object seen transcending over Europe, last tracked by the United States Air Force. It's traveling at a rate of over 35,000 miles an hour. It's just seen hovering over Daniel Boone National Forest in eastern Kentucky, home of the greatest ever Muhammad Ali, a.k.a. Cassius Clay.
Oh God.
Sound about right.
How'd this shit happen?
Let me tell you, BRC. It happened cause I happened to meet up with Billy Cyrus. It happened cause I ran the alarm and broke the side. It happened cause I'm sipping on that good Kentucky whiskey. It happened cause I'd rather be lucky than good. Don't tell my home, my achy breaking heart. I just don't break it off the screen. And if you tell my home, my achy breaking heart, it might blow up against the slam. Baby, don't you say a thing.
Oh my God.
Got me stuck on you like liquor. I swear you're 100 proof. And if I forget to mention, you got my attention.
It's almost like
thing I'm asking you to do.
it's. I feel like there are some things that are sacred. You know, like we're talking about, you know, these two very distinct
Dude, though,
genres.
can you imagine this shit slapping like when they're doing line dances and shit? Fuck, it would be popping up in those swing dancing clubs, whatever they're called.
Whatever they're called, exactly. Like, you won't catch me.
They're four dancing. Yeah, they're four dancing. They're fucking, you know.
I guess that's the demographic they were.
Well, were they? Because there's like dubstep, like synth chords.
Yeah, like what's going on
There's
there?
rap, and then there's like Billy Ray Cyrus. Like, what is he even doing? And I don't hear any guitar. I don't hear any vocals.
Right,
He's
yeah.
doing the
Exactly,
chorus, probably,
right?
He's doing the chorus.
No, it's just because he wrote the song. Like he wrote, you know, so they just had to. It's probably one of his, you know, requests. It's like, all right, well, you know, get that budget up, you know, and I'll be in the video. Like, I don't know, dude. But,
yeah, that's like profane. Like, you know, it's like bad. Like, it's like almost like shockingly bad.
Yeah.
And you know that like all the bigwigs in like the record industry were like, we're gonna make a killing on this.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah, it's like we're gonna.
No, that's exactly what I imagined when I first heard it. I couldn't help but just think like, wow, dude, this is just not good. I mean, objectively, like I know some stuff is like, all right, well, they're self-aware and like Tracy, you know, it's like, but this is just blatantly taking these two genres that really, you know, I could see where they could, you know, you could blend them together and really make something work, but taking it like this, it just, that did not sound good at all. But I just wanted to play that to just sort of contrast just how, you know, just show you that contrast.
Well, it kind of shows you the commercialization of rap music as kind of a trope or like a gimmick. Like there was like too many gimmicks crammed into one thing there. Like it was like the rap was terrible and but it was like country lyrics. And then it was like, you know, a meme tier country song, right? And Billy Ray was he was on the way out by the time that came out, I'm sure.
Yeah,
he had a very short career in terms of longevity. But, and then they fucking put dubstep in there. Like, what the hell, dude? Like,
what year was this? I don't,
Well, he had the whole
2014.
Oh my God, that was way late in the game, dude.
Yeah.
That was,
Skrillex had already like owned everything, you know. I mean, he came in, did his old dubstep thing, and it was like already old. Like
they got fucking Larry King.
Yeah.
Like Larry King is like, that shows you also how fucked up the news industry is, because like for like face recognition, like Larry King, I get it, but he wouldn't be the guy on breaking news like telling people that there's like aliens that have come down, you know, the aliens have descended. It's like Larry King, bro. Like, are you kidding me? I guess
that's you know, that's who the young kids are watching, you know.
I mean, I'm just thinking like it's drawing my attention to like the idea that rap music can be used for whatever ends the artist is trying to use it for.
Exactly.
Like, I mean, this thing that we all watched, this interview with J. Cole and Lil Pump, it's you see within them and within their conversation like the two different approaches that they have towards rap music, and they're so different, but they're both not necessarily good, you know? Like, they're both not like I mean, you could say that one is better than the other, and that's sort of a subjective thing. But I mean, at the end of the day, it's totally subjective. But it goes to show you like how genre can be used for a whole mess of different ideas. Well, it really is just like a toolkit.
It should be a playground, like some sort of So as far as so we have this situation where you have these two artists coming from essentially the same genre, right? Like
I mean, and the way that it's set up is like it's the old head versus like the sort of like the new style, and like J. Cole talks about how he's been rapping since like the 6th grade, and how he says like the first rap he wrote was in response to Tupac getting killed. He's like, Pac died, and it was like the talk of the school, and I just thought that I had to say something. I had something to say, and I just put it on paper. And then Lil Pump's like, oh yeah, I just started rapping like 2 years ago. And,
dude, the look on J. Cole's face.
He doesn't really take it very serious, or he doesn't really see it as a craft, as opposed to, you know. So for those who don't know, we are talking about, you know, artists, you know, these two distinguished artists, I would say. You have the J. Cole, and I say the J. Cole intentionally, I think, because he kind of represents that, like the archetype of you know, conscious rapping, like that old school minded, you know. They're more they want to represent, like, you know, hip hop is like more of a force, you know, something to you know, like we gotta teach the youth, we got to like connect with the youth, we got to, knowledge is power, and, that has its own strengths, whatever, it served its purpose, but it's like too much of that, it can get old real quick, And so to counter that, we have, the little pumps coming out, just having fun, taking the tools that were given by hip hop and all these quote unquote old heads. And now they're making a whole new sound with it. And so there's been a real clash, over the, these past
They're
few
conversely
years.
conscious of the platform.
Yeah.
In every other way.
Exactly. And so, like, recently what they actually had what started off as a beef, like it was being promoted as a beef anyway. It seemed like, cause, I know J. Cole, he came out with a song called 1985, and it was on his most recent album or whatever, mixtape. And it was the last track on it, and I guess he just went off on SoundCloud rappers in general.
Right.
Like these rappers that use SoundCloud, to blow up, and they, they tend to all sound the same. It's all, these trap beats over just, triplet rhymes, and all essentially talking about the same stuff, promoting opiate, use and stuff like that. But yeah. So he was talking about all those rappers, and I guess a lot of people started like hitting up Lil Pump saying, "Hey, he's talking about you." And of course,
Right.
he's young.
He did some sort of like video responce on it or some shit, right?
Yeah.
I didn't watch it.
Something like that. Like he got on his like Instagram live, and he was just,
just said the normal shit
he
you
had
would
this
expect.
Fuck J. Cole became a meme.
Right.
Where it was like, fuck the idea of like following these rules. Essentially, like these hip hop
treating it so sacred. you know?
It's kind of funny because the whole fuck J. Cole thing, it's like, it's not even saying like fuck J. Cole, it's like saying like fuck the archetype of J. Cole. Yeah
Exactly.
saying fuck having any respect for like music, like the whole thing. Like I don't particularly like J. Cole. I've never like listened to his stuff and thought
I never
this is really good.
Listen to him either.
Same.
But I do know that he has respect for the genre, and he's like one of those guys that it's like, it's almost like a sort of like a bougie sort of perspective on hip hop. Like it's like, oh yeah, like this is like, there are these rules. There's like a form. This is a genre, and you have to pay homage to what has come before. You need to listen.
But like
to,
always, like you never let up.
No. There's no evolution.
Yeah.
It's but what the J. Coles see at Lil Pump, when they see in Lil Pump, they see a de-evolution of the genre. They see like, what the fuck is this? I don't understand what the fuck is going on. They reject it. They think it's terrible. But also like the guys that are really like into J. Cole are like for the culture, in quotes. It's like, and the culture being hip hop culture. It's like, like they're super into like hip hop, like attire and like hip hop history. And like they probably are like black supremacists in one capacity or another, or like not fucking with Malcolm X. I guess what I mean by that when I say it is like, the guys that really fuck with Tupac beyond just like liking, All Eyes on Me or whatever, the guys that like listen to his political message and are like, they're like pumped up by it. Like this is like some real empowerment shit. And then there's the guys that just listen to, they got into rap music around the time of like Odd Future, or they listen to like Chief Keef and drill music or whatever. And a lot of which being white kids, white suburban kids, and they listen to it because it's turn up. And I will be the first to admit that was me. That was fucking me.
I remember, man. It's only been a few years, but I remember.
Yeah, that was me in a huge way. When you listen to Chief Keef, you put on Back from the Dead, you blast that shit full volume, max bass. And it's just him saying, "Oh yeah, we're going to do a drill, we're going to fucking kill." It's like just saying like, it just makes you like hella aggressive and makes you want to like thrash around and shit. It's the same reason like I listen to like Slayer. You know, it's like the same.
Dude, yeah, it's the same energy as metal.
Yeah, exactly.
Definitely. I've
it's
always
totally
felt that. It's about getting the fuck up there and sweating. You know what I mean?
Well, if you ever watch any of their live shows, like Lil Pump, all he does is just like hop around.
Yeah, dude.
And he's just saying, you know, the same
You're
few words,
headbanging.
repeating
You're
the same
fucking
few
headbanging
words.
the whole fucking time.
Yeah.
They're literally throwing up the horns.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
They're doing the fucking Dio, man.
Yeah, dude. Like, it's the same energy. I love it. That's why I love it too.
Oh yeah, it's accessible. It's not something that feels exclusionary. You know, like this is for me and not for thee type shit.
Yeah.
And that's why people fuck with it. And I'm not saying that it's without, that it can't be criticized, or that by virtue of it being sort of fun versus conscious activity, you know, conscious, like you have to probe your brain to understand what the fuck's going on. Some music just makes you move. Some music
Right.
just like fills you with a sense of energy that needs to be expressed. Like,
True. It's almost like video game music. Like you said, it's gonna bolster you in different ways than, wow, I like what this guy had to say. It's like, no, I want to fucking. This guy's my spirit animal right now.
And especially like, you know, if they connect with them in other ways, like I mentioned, you know, the drug use that they promote, like a lot of the time you're there. That's, you know, a lot of these their fan base is just, that's what they're just zonked out,
Right.
and they need that soundtrack, something that's
True.
just like, well, now it's bleeding a lot into the subject matter. Like it used to be like just nothing but turn up, but I'm noticing patterns now where they're emphasizing on the addiction part now.
Oh, yeah.
and being
There's lots of
hyper-aware
anxiety
it.
rap going on.
A lot of like the sad, like, you know, I'm dealing with something real here, I'm going
Right.
through it, and
I've been noticing that a lot too.
well, it seems almost like cathartic in a way. It's like, you know, like you don't want to stay in that state, but you want to connect with other people,
Right.
because they're, you know, I see, yeah, I don't know, I don't know where it's going, but
It's a
I
weird
do.
area. It's a gray area
right.
now. But I think it's just a transitionary phase of, yeah, we all fucking feel that anxiety. We're all fucking depressed. We don't, you know, you're gonna rap about with this cloudy ass beat and some depressive ass fucking lyrics, and people are gonna slap that shit
Exactly.
because they're feeling it. It's just like when we were in school, like you were saying, listening to Eminem and shit. Like,
Yeah.
you really start channeling that shit, and it's an outlet. It'll help you grow on other shit.
And it is a universal feeling, or those feelings they tend to be universal, you know, especially in when you're targeting these young teenagers, you know, they're out there in the world just completely, you know, just clueless and just trying to make sense of it all. And yeah, so I see, you know, where it has its purpose, but it's like, just like with anything, I just don't know, you know, where these trends are heading. Like if it's, you know, detrimental, or if it's just, you know, we don't understand, you know, but I'm not a J. Cole. Like I don't value these things as much as, you know, as he does.
Right.
Or, like
Even so, though, I was listening to some J. Cole recently, and just, I mean, he talks a lot about keeping it, you know, protecting the sanctity of it. In that interview, at least, not like outwardly he needs to protect it, but he stands to represent that a lot. And I don't know, I just find like, for somebody with that stance, he fills his lyric content with a lot of, you know, ho this, and, you know.
Exactly. Yeah, it's funny, man. It's like he thinks he's some woke dude.
Right, yeah.
Like infallible, and like, yeah,
he has the world on his shoulders type, like, oh man,
yeah,
this
it's
guy
like he's
just
crossed a bear, dude. Like he's fucking Jesus on the cross.
He's really good. He's a great fucking rapper, but I just kept seeing other artists in him. I couldn't identify the true him, if that makes sense.
That's the problem with these type of people, though. These type of artists is that they're so focused on, like, you know, putting such emphasis on the history of, like, you know, this is how I learned to, you know, craft my sound, because I you know, I pay tribute to
Right.
these people.
He is
and
about
he's
paying
so focused
tribute.
on that.
I'll give it.
But it's
I'll give it to him there.
You know, you're never really gonna find your own identity that way. You know, you're always just kind of gonna sound derivative.
Maybe one day when he's an old man and he's like getting into some like jazz ass shit.
Well, I
it's
think
like-
now that he's having conversations with like these younger rappers, I think he's gonna start, you know, changing up his sound.
it's
I
gonna
honestly
mature him
see
a
it.
lot, dude.
Well-
Because that's a just looking at like he's 33. He's talking to a 17-year-old in this interview. And it's
I
the
feel
game
like
has
for
changed.
both of them. This
right
is
before
actually a
his
smart
eyes.
move.
Yeah, it is.
Because you know, it makes Lil Pump. I mean, as much as I did see it as like him being just flexed on, you know, like making, you know, it almost just seems
Intellectually
like
flexed
his
on.
manager thought that was a good idea, like, you know, because he was.
I thought it was very educational, like in terms of the fans of Lil Pump. Right. These are kids. They're
if they're actually listening. If
well, yeah. If they're gonna, well,
I'm
that video
assuming
had a
like
shitload of
lot
fucking
them-
views. How many fucking
Yeah, I
views
know,
are on
but
that video?
But that's one thing is you're watching it, but it's like a lot of these Lil Pump fans are known for just like they truly feel fuck J. Cole.
Yeah, I
and
feel
it's
that.
like if they're not listening, actually like receptive to it, then it's just gonna go over their heads. And
Well,
it's gonna
even
be like, oh, this
even
guy
that Lil Pump was very receptive to this interview.
it seemed like it.
And so it's almost like
Sometimes,
even if
though.
you're saying, you know, fuck J. Cole, you're still going to be watching your boy and listening to at least what he's fucking saying because he's good.
Yeah, it's the question of do the Lil Pump fans even have the attention span to watch an hour-long
Right.
video?
An
Yeah.
hour long, man.
Straight
No,
up.
immediately.
Dude,
I
even
found,
Lil Pump
like-
couldn't get through it. He was yawning.
Yeah,
like,
exactly.
I know. I was
eating
gonna say,
crackers
it's like
and shit.
I mean, you can
his little juice
can
box.
You can just see it in like their mannerisms, how you know, how just the age gap and all that. It's just like, man. But that's what I found so interesting, and that's why I wanted to talk about it. Is just this merging of these two sides of essentially the same coin. I mean, they, you know, they represent a part of, you know, it's hip hop in a form. Well, I mean, in different forms. But these artists, they don't even see themselves as hip hop artists anymore.
No, they don't. I think
know,
that was that's interesting as well. What that kind of mentor type vibe I was getting through this whole interaction, where it's like this isn't even about the music. They're on the same level on a professional performer level with no job security. So it's like I gotta look out for this fucking kid right now,
Yeah.
type shit. Like, and that's on another level that I appreciated because the industry, there's a veil. You think it's Hollywood magic and like all this like shit just happens. Like, no, there's a whole monster that you need to fucking learn how to, you know, rub its belly just right so it won't fucking eat your ass and spit you out.
Oh, for
Yeah,
sure.
you sign on, you get what you think is a $6 million deal, and $6 million is the most money you've ever seen in your whole life.
Right.
You've never even heard of $6 million.
Well,
You've made
you're a
it,
kid,
right?
dude.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and then you sign
I
page
couldn't
after
imagine
page.
being that age and
Oh,
just
God.
like seeing that amount of money. To me, it'd be like that's not a real number.
I saw
Like,
I saw some video of like Lil Xan just like having
yeah.
a mental breakdown.
it too.
It's like that's
I
what
was like,
fucking
what's
happens,
going on,
dude.
dude?
Like that's
Like-
a small example.
and he straight up was saying like my managers, they straight up own me.
Yeah,
Like, he
he's a
was saying,
slave.
Like, I
Like-
can't drive my own cars that I own, and it's like
it's good to put a spotlight on that side of it.
I think though, to be fair, like I understand the anxiety with which people such as the J. Coles view the Lil Pumps. Like Gen Z, like we're kind of in a weird place, or at least I am, like in terms of like being on the borderline between Gen Z and like what's considered like millennials. Like some millennials are like in their 30s, like J. Cole, I guess you would call millennial. But like generationally, like there has been such a rapid change in the cultural composition of America in particular. Like this whole like this proponents of like drugs and shit like that. Like everybody's rapping about Xans and fucking every type like Percocet and fucking lean and everything else, right? Like this is putting, I mean, it's not necessarily saying, like we were talking earlier about how it puts like a sort of downcast glance at it and it's depressing, and they're talking about how they're dealing with addiction, but simultaneously they're also talking about how turned up they are and everything else, and right. Like, and you see it with kids, man. Like with kids these days, it's like this shit is omnipresent, and with the prescription medication, like how easy it is to get a hold of some of this shit. I think it's gonna be dangerous to our society to allow this shit to have, influence on our children, man. And or even not just our children, like ourselves. Like, we have to we have to be aware of it. Like I remember for a long time, like I was like trying to find lean. Like I was like seriously looking for it.
Yeah.
I was like where can I find this? I was willing to pay a lot of money for it just for the experience of it. And I mean, I aged like a few like months, like half a year, and I was like, maybe not, maybe I don't want to drink this fucking liquid heroin. Maybe I
mean, none of it, I don't know, I'm just speaking for myself, but for me, none of it ever really sounded like appealing, I mean, it's like I have like a mental like a spectrum, I just like to feel relaxed. I mean, as far as, some people like to be on the upper side of the spectrum. Some people like to really relax, which is like, the opiate consumers.
Shit,
yeah. And, but that just, to me, in every aspect of it, it always just seems so unappealing. Like, yeah,
and also the potential for loss of life.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like that didn't add to to their selling point. Yeah, just it's so interesting to me how it was in every like I listen to a lot of stuff that was coming out of like the southern, like we're talking about the southern state, like or Memphis and stuff like that. And yeah, it's such a part of that image.
Yeah. I mean, I listened to so much trap music. Like for such a long time, I was listening to nothing but trap music. I was digging deep. I was trying to understand the genre and its complexities. And like I started with like the early roots, like but I would just listen to a shit ton of Gucci Mane and shit. I would listen to a shit ton of Waka Flocka, OJ the Juice Man. I would listen to everything I could, Migos. I would listen to Young Thug. I would listen to find obscure artists and shit, everybody they were fucking with, and I would just listen to this and listen to this, listen to mixtape after mixtape, just filling my head with this shit, like day in and day out. And
it's a fascinating like subgenre.
Yeah, it's really fun, entertaining music, and it's like you start to understand the themes. You start to understand like what you're listening to. Like I listened to a lot of Lil B when I was younger, like when I was in high school, and I would hear like references to shit that I wouldn't understand. I would know the lyrics. I knew the Lil B song so well I could say the lyrics, but I had no idea what the fuck I was saying. Like then I would listen to rap music. I would listen to trap music, and then I would go back to Lil B, and then I would understand what the fuck Lil B was saying. Because he was doing callbacks to all these different like trap symbols and images and everything else, right? Yeah. So I was like, I had to internalize all this shit that I didn't even know what it was. And I feel like that's going on with a lot of these kids and shit.
Yeah.
Like when they listen to this, it's just good, fast rhythm. It's like, this is like, I mean, the comparisons have always been drawn to the point where it's cliche, but this is like the punk movement. Or this is like the grunge movement.
Yeah, I mean, it's like it's really not like not to be compared. There's been plenty of people try to blog about it, write about it in blogs, and it's just like immediately the knee-jerk reaction is like, what they're comparing the two, it's not punk, or it's not, but it's like, no, that's not. The sentiment is it's different.
Fuck it. Bitch, your breath smell like some cigarettes. I'd rather fuck a bitch from the project. They kick me out the plane off perk set. Now Lil Pump flying private jet. Everybody scream for WestJet. Lil Pump still that meth. 100 on wrist, sipping on tech. Fuck a little bitch, make a pussy wet. Gucci gang, Gucci gang, Gucci gang, Gucci gang, Gucci gang, Gucci gang, Gucci gang. Spread their rats on.
I mean, this interview that they just had, it could totally. I think that's what they're doing. I think in the back of their, this has been like the plan all along to sort of like, J. Cole, he might want to like experiment now with different artists of that trap, genre, and it's like. Well, it's because he's been so, like he's been put on such a pedestal where it's like people they see him as being that voice they're Tupac. They're, you know.
I feel like if he tries to experiment with trap beats and like synth heavy shit and like really like hooky central shit and like just like bangers, and I think he'll like alienate his whole audience.
It's gonna polarize everyone.
I think it'll be like, because for me, like for someone that has listened to like hard shit and trap and like post trap or whatever, I wouldn't like hearing that he tried doing that wouldn't make me be like, yes, all right, now I'm a J. Cole fan, now I'm gonna buy his album. It would be effectively like, this is a gimmick. This is about as gimmicky as the fucking Achy Breaky Heart 2 that we fucking listened to. And it's like, I mean, maybe I'm just like too like, you know, obstinate in my beliefs about these people, right? Maybe I'm just like too sedentary in my thoughts about an artist, right? I mean, I take issue when an artist like tries a gimmick and then keeps going with it, you know? Like if they like try, and I'm trying to think about any examples. Like I know like with Metallica, like when they tried to do like their 90s sound, like or like when they were in the early 2000s and shit, like going away from like
they
from
cut their
speed
hair.
metal and thrash metal and everything.
Yeah, totally emasculated themselves.
Yeah, it was kind of like, and then like also like all the shit that Lars was experimenting with on drums and shit. It was just like, it kind of ruined it for me. It like soiled it for me, and I just kind of couldn't fuck with it. And then they just like, that was their shit now. That was like, that's what they're doing now. Yeah. And I
it wasn't just like a stylistic choice. It was more of just like, okay, this is what
we're doing now.
Yeah.
This is what we're on now.
And like, you either like stay on the ride or you just, you know, this is your dropping off point. Like,
yeah, I think, well, I mean, for me, like, I wonder if, I didn't get the impression that J. Cole was particularly moved or inspired by his conversation with Lil Pump. Like we may see him like try to experiment or change, but to me it just seemed like an older dude talking down to someone.
Yeah, he was probably in his own mind reinforcing the idea that this guy is really not that smart.
Yeah.
You know,
I mean,
even though he was complimenting him and saying, you know, for your age, I don't know. I think he's sort of, it was pretty clear to anyone who was really paying attention that he would, I don't know if he was being 100% authentic.
It didn't seem like he was being, it looked like he was like, he was fishing for compliments. Like J. Cole was fishing for compliments to give him.
Yeah,
not like he was fishing for compliments for himself.
Pump, I don't know if he was conscious of it or not, but I mean, he was just playing into the whole uninterest. Like he was, you know, making eye contact and all that, but I mean, half the time it didn't seem like he was even really listening. He was just kind of like...
Well, I think like he's 17 years old, right? Yeah. Think back to when you were 17 years old. Exactly. Were you like super reflective and like introspective? Like I kind of was at times.
I mean, yeah.
I was at times when I was depressed. Yeah. And like I was like looking for answers. But like I think in a kid like him who's like got a multi-million-dollar record deal is living the time of his life, right? Like, what the fuck does he care? Like, why he's gonna introspect? He's gonna reflect on like why he got kicked out of school, you know, or like how like he got to where he is,
and like how and how it was interesting to me how he didn't really even see how like smoking weed was an issue. He didn't really care to see past like, you know, his whole. Oh, I was just smoking weed. My mom hated it, and he was just like stuck on that, like not seeing past how that kind of behavior, like to a parent especially, is just, you know, and like how J. Cole was, you know, highlighting the fact, hey, why don't you see things from this perspective, you know, but just like an adult would to a child.
Yeah, it seemed like there was like, for me, like it highlighted the disconnect between them rather than sort of like expose the potential for intermingling or evolution from either of them. Like it really just kind of reinforced how different these two people are despite them being of the same genre. And it kind of made me shocked to think it didn't necessarily make me shocked because I know what rap is or what it can do, but it was kind of like one of those things where it's like, wow, like this is like, both these things can exist at the same time and still be called rap. Like, even though they're so fucking different, the only thing that functionally makes them both rap music is that they rap. Like they
rhyme.
Yeah, or they rhyme.
And that and it's a beat.
Yeah, exactly.
You know, some sort of rhythm, you know.
Yeah, and the fact that, I mean, a beat could be anything. A beat literally could be any fucking thing. Judging by the fucking Tracy song we listened to, right? Just at the fucking start, right?
Yeah.
We could have a country hybrid rap song, and we could have like a woke, conscious, like Black Power fucking rap song, and then we could have poppin' Zans and fucking sippin' lean over and over again, repetitive, right? Just
whatever you want to make of it. It really is like we were saying. It's just it's a playground. It's whatever you want to make of it. At the end of the day, though, I don't know where my stance is, because I mean I used to be super. I came from that where I used to have like Tupac all the time. On tapes, actual literal tapes. In West Coast rap and stuff like that, and I didn't really have. I mean, I took it too seriously. Like I was always like analyzing the lyrics and all that, but now it's like you just listen to it for the beat mostly. If it's got a solid good beat, and almost the vocals are almost like the background now. It's like the message. It's just like whatever. You're just, it's a mantra. You just kind of repeat it and zone out. And for that, it's like it's whatever. I could see where some people get something out of it, some mileage out of it, and I mean, but at the end of the day, it's like I think they both need each other. You have to, an artist has to find that like middle ground, like where they can come out and just have fun with it, like every other song, or go dip more into like the history and the deeper messages, and then because you can't just be one thing. It's like you're just gonna get tiring. It's gonna be tiring for the listener, and yeah, it's going to reflect poorly on the artist.
There's a market for both, so fuck it. Why can't they both exist? And I mean, it's going to mean different things for each person that listens to it. And but I think for me, I don't think that we should just say, like for the younger people, as I was saying earlier, I don't think that we should take away their right to listen to Lil Pump because they might want to fucking try bars or whatever. Like, this shit is omnipresent. Unfortunately, if they're not gonna hear about it through Pump, they're gonna hear about it when they get to fucking college, when they get to adult playground.
Like, it's funny you say that, because I mean that's like I mentioned Fat Nick earlier, and I've been noticing that he's been getting a lot of attention out of nowhere. I don't know what that a lot of these artists that were close to Lil Peep are getting attention now, and I mean I'm really trying to repress that. The conspiracy side of me, but I just found it interesting that he's been doing a lot of interviews lately, and one thing that he's been really focused on is making a distinguish between the idea that they're promoting drug use. It's like what he says is the reason we say fuck Russ and fuck J. Cole is because these guys, they don't know what we're going through, and instead of like trying to relate to us, they're saying stop this, quit that, you can quit that, whereas you should be saying here's how to cope with it, because you're not going to stop, so be smart about it. And he's he's not articulating himself very well, but I mean that's what you can what else do you expect from that, like that generation? They're not
talkers, man.
No, it's all social media, it's all but I get what he's going for, and I think it's smart that they're playing into that, but it's still I think it's still a problem. The whole image, the whole emphasis on we need to drink lean and all this. But yeah, man, I think that's all I really wanted to say on the whole topic. I mean, I can go on and on about it, but it's just a merging of these worlds, man. It's just like we were talking about earlier, like we can all relate to, that idea though of being like you wanting to preserve something that you feel is sacred. It's just like, you see these newcomers come out and their work isn't that great, but you've spent a lot of stuff in your
right. Yeah, it's similar. I mean, it's probably the same in any industry. You got your blue collar type people who are just grinding because that's the craft and that's what you do. And then you have hot shots. They're going to grab everyone's fucking attention and
Just take the formula.
they're going to get that hole in one and then have to follow it up. And, you know, sometimes they can, sometimes they fucking can't. And then you're left with your blue collar guy, you know what I mean?
Exactly.
But then it's like sometimes the blue collar guy is like, well, I'm good too. And he freaks the fuck out and then makes an ass out of himself instead of just chilling.
Yeah, just stay down, man. That's really all it takes. Just if you want to do something creatively, it takes drive, effort, and persistence. That's really all it takes. As long as you have a combination of those three things and you keep at it, you keep working at it, you keep trying to improve, then you will see dividends eventually. As long as you don't give up or become jaded with the process. But it doesn't have to be. It doesn't have to be something super complex or aesthetic or intellectual even. Just fucking produce something, send it out into the world, and then that gives us something to talk about. You know?
Yeah, definitely.
Well, all right,
guys. Until next time, it's been Trash Boy Hours.
It's been Trash Boy Hours.